Hello, my name is David Shellenberger and I'm the president of St. John Vianney Center. I'm also a registered nurse and practiced for many years in nursing administration before being appointed to my current position over the past 5 years. I've been with St. John Vianney Center for nearly 12 years supporting our mission and ministry. It is my honor and pleasure to share with you today's presentation, Guarding the Temple, Managing Chronic Stress. We are all concerned about keeping safe and following the prudent guidelines for this health crisis. Undoubtedly, you and your community have recognized the fear that lives within this time of uncertainty. Psychologists will tell you that when we feel a loss of control over our lives, we can become anxious and experience struggles in our daily functioning. Our prayer life may suffer or become non-existent. We can neglect our emotional and physical wellness due to feeling overwhelmed. There are many possible ways that people deal with fear. Today, I want to talk to you about the things we can control. That is our own personal response to this challenge. We at St. John Vianney Center are concerned about this situation, but we are just as concerned about the likelihood that you and your men will suffer symptoms from chronic stress. We need to be proactive in our own care, especially now. We need to focus on strengthening our immune systems. Chronic stress can weaken the immune system and impact our spirit, our minds, and our bodies. We need to take a proactive role in managing the stress during this situation. So let's talk about stress. We recognize that stress is normal. It's a physical response to events that may make you feel threatened or upset your balance in some way. It is the body's defense, and it's a way of protecting you. But beyond a certain point, stress stops being helpful and starts causing damage. It can cause damage to your health, your mood, your productivity, your relationships, your quality of life. The bottom line is that stress becomes difficult to avoid. What is chronic stress? When we talk about chronic stress, it's the everyday stressors in our environment over time and over which you believe you have little to no control. Some examples may include not enough money to support your ministry, not enough time, unpredictable toxic environments, the news, and the constant incoming of information, much of which isn't very uplifting. Chronic stress causes damage to our chemical and hormonal reactions. For example, too much of the stress hormone cortisol triggers an increase in blood sugar and changes in our metabolism. Chronic stress lowers brain activity, which can increase vulnerability to depression, anxiety, impulsiveness, and illness. It compromises your health and contributes to weight gain and buildup of belly fat, which is especially concerning because it surrounds and impacts the health of vital organs in the core of your body. Long term, the ongoing stress causes damage and depletes energy and our vital resources. So what does chronic stress look or feel like? It can be irritability, fatigue, obsessive thoughts, rumination, difficulty with concentration and focus, symptoms of anxiety or depression, changes in your sleep pattern, and eating, either too much or too little. What are some of the behavioral warning signs or signals of chronic stress? Feeling tired, never feeling fully rested, arguing with others over minor things, a lack of patience or a lack of tolerance for others' mistakes and incompetence, inability to feel fully relaxed, constantly feeling under pressure in your ministry or in community life, a lack of desire or time to socialize with your brothers, being absent-minded, just forgetting things, feeling irritable and exhausted at the end of your day. When we enter into what would be noted as a stress overload situation, The body can slow or stop our ability to respond effectively. Some of the common unhealthy responses to chronic stress are known as fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. In a fight situation, we argue and try to change the situation in inappropriate and unproductive ways. If it's a flight situation, we try to avoid, escape, and move away from the problem. Sometimes we freeze. We do absolutely nothing and hope it will go away. At times, you may feel a situation of feeling paralyzed. We fawn, meaning that we just surrender to the aggressor or the event or situation. What we really need to learn is how to manage stress, to mediate it, and to self-regulate. This can be learned and practiced. It is not always an innate gift, and it may not come naturally. But here's the good news. It is a skill that can be learned and practiced. Long-term exposure to stress can lead to major health problems and disrupt every system of the body. It can disrupt our blood pressure, our immune system. It can increase the risk of heart attack and stroke. It speeds up the aging process. It can, again, cause more sleep disruption, obesity, symptoms of depression and anxiety, but most importantly, it can lead to poor decisions regarding your overall health management. So what is the reality for men religious? Well, first of all, you're never permitted to have a bad day. The expectation is that you're always going to be upbeat and positive, that you are not affected by stressful situations, as if you are inoculated to any type of stress because of your calling by the Lord to your ministry. Men religious often have difficulty recognizing and setting reasonable expectations in their ministry. So what can we do to reduce the effects of chronic stress? I suggest first putting into place a preventative plan, similar to the old saying of an apple a day keeps the doctor away. First thing to start with is prayer, making sure that you are spending time with the Lord. That quiet time is your time between you and the Lord. Offer up your thoughts, your burdens, your wishes for the ongoing health and wellness of yourself, those you love, and the world in general. Spend time with others in prayer. It's a great way to connect with your brothers, albeit with proper distancing in our current environment. Now is also a great time to reflect on your prayer life. Reflect on the relationship that you personally have with the Lord. Is it where you want to be? What do you want it to be? Think about setting small goals for yourself. Thinking about our physical health. We need to just take a brief evaluation of our nutritional intake. Are there certain ways that we can make minor adjustments to be able to eat and plan for 3 square meals a day? I encourage you to make sure to have breakfast as a priority. Giving your body the fuel the first thing in the morning helps to satiate you for the rest of the day, reduces extreme hunger cravings, which can lead to overeating, and really allows you to start your day with a nice, positive experience. Set that goal of eating 5 servings of fruits and vegetables per day. 5 servings doesn't sound like a lot, but it's quite the challenge. And it's an easy challenge and a refreshing challenge and a good challenge for you to put into place at this time. If 5 seems too daunting, start with 3 or maybe even 2 and build from there. Identify and maintain your daily calorie totals. There are many apps and many programs where you can simply enter in some of your demographics and it will let you know what your caloric intake needs to be. It can help to break it down between fats and proteins. And it's an easy way to track your intake. Having that visual can help to set you up for success. Let's talk about the fluid that your body needs to maintain a good state of homeostasis. Limit your caffeine and sugary drinks. Limit or avoid alcohol. Take and set a goal to consume 64 ounces of non-caloric, non-caffeinated beverages a day. Mainly something that would be a diet beverage or water preferably. Using high caloric sports drinks can actually have a reverse effect because they're loaded with sugars that just are retained in your system. So think about the non-caloric, non-caffeinated beverage a day. Those of you that are the coffee lovers, 64 ounces of coffee does not count towards that goal of 64 ounces. Now we'll move on to talking about a little bit of physical activity. Remember that any form of physical activity acts as a stress reliever. Being active will boost your mood. It acts as a great distraction from the burdens of the day. It increases your resiliency to the ill effects of stress. Any form of physical activity is worth it. Walking, gardening, any type of movement counts. It helps to pump up your endorphins. They are your brain's feel-good neurotransmitters. Think of it as physical activity is your meditation in motion. It helps you to get away from the day's stresses, concentrate on something fun, whether it be your walking, your gardening, any type of physical activity that you enjoy. Physical activity helps to get you refocused. It's like a timeout for grown-ups. It helps to enhance your mood, increases self-confidence, lowers symptoms of depression and anxiety, and improves your sleep. Exercise and physical activity will offset stress, which leads to sleep disruption. Columbia University identified that 2.5 to 4.5 hours per week of physical activity leads to the prevention of mental health disorders, primarily depression and anxiety. Remember, you don't have to be an elite athlete to be active. Find something you enjoy, develop a plan. It's very nice if you can find a buddy to do that physical activity with because it's a built-in accountability. You're more than likely to continue to perform that physical activity if you know that you will not disappoint someone who's counting on you to be there for them. And remember, research does support the notion that regular physical activity may lead to prevention of mental health disorders. Now, after all of that, you'll definitely be ready for a rest. So let's talk about sleep. Sleep is your body's chance to refuel. It's also the time when your mind recharges. Know your needs. Sleep needs vary from person to person. Try to keep a regular sleep schedule. Try to go to bed at the same time. Try to wake up at the same time. When you wake up in the morning, get up, stay up. Try to avoid naps. Try to avoid taking long siestas. If you are the type of person that relies on that nice power nap in the afternoon, remember a power nap is 20 to 30 minutes, not 2 to 3 hours. Practice some breathing or meditation if you find yourself anxious or worked up before bedtime. Spending 5 or 10 minutes quieting yourself in prayer, some deep breathing can help to prepare you for a good night's rest. Avoid caffeine and nicotine after dinner. And use your bedroom for sleep only. Read or watch TV elsewhere. Keeping your room as a quiet, non-stimulating environment is what's the key for a restful sleep. A few other considerations as we talk about managing our chronic stress. Smoking is not a stress reliever or a diet alternative or an energy-producing option. When you smoke, it raises your heart rate, your blood pressure, it reduces oxygen exchange, without the positive effects of physical activity. Avoid alcohol. Though it may seem to help with stress, it is very short acting, and the downsides of consuming alcohol as a way to manage your stress can be very detrimental. Long-term effects compound or create new and emotional physical health issues by using tobacco or alcohol to manage your stress. Another technique would be to avoid isolation. It is intrinsically unhealthy, but in solitude, it is healthy if balanced. So reach out via phone. In today's world, we can't move the way that we used to. We can't gather the way that we would like. Some folks have even used virtual dinners and socials by various media platforms. What a great way to connect with others. What opportunities could exist in this time of quiet, solitude, and decreased physical engagement? Do you like to write? Is there that novel that you've been waiting to read? How about some planning for some special event in the future? Continuing to build a positive, futuristic view can help to build your optimism and to reduce your stress levels. Think about reaching out to that person that you've always said, oh, I haven't got around to calling him, or I wish I had more time to call her. No time is better than now than to contact that person you've been meaning to be in touch with for quite some time. And it's very important to note, as we talk about stress, the way that we perceive and manage stress matters a great deal. During this time, be extra mindful. Practice gratitude. Smell the roses. The birds are still singing each morning. The flowers are blooming or will be blooming depending on where you are. Don't forget to savor all of the wonderful things life offers you. Embrace optimism. Focus on the positive. God is still in charge and our shining light for the future. Attempt to limit or access your stress. Don't think about it all day. If the news is stressful to you, get all your news in the course of 1 hour and then let that go. Engage in a different activity. Engage yourself in a challenge, a hobby, or maybe even a new endeavor. Find distraction. Sometimes you need to seek out that distraction. Clean out that closet, organize the file cabinet. Try to do things that have a beginning, a middle, and an end. This will give you a sense of accomplishment that will help to carry you through the rest of your day. Choose positivity. Inject that positivity into others. Be the spark that influences others in a healthy way. No better reward is to cheer up that person that needs your care, your concern, and your comfort. And remember to keep a sense of humor about the things that are worthy of laughter. Laughter does boost your immune system in many different ways. Stay away from those doom and gloom movies or TV shows. Gravitate towards whatever uplifts you and inspires you. After all, despair is never an option for Christians who always have access to joy. Joy in our faith, joy in the promise of everlasting life. And in closing, as we think about the current health crisis we're dealing with, as a good priest friend said, stay well and sanitize. Thank you for allowing me to be with you today. Our website, stjohnvianneycenter.org, which is sjvcenter.org, has an extensive amount of helpful resources. Within our website, we have a leadership portal built just for you, the Leadership of Men Religious. If you would like access to the portal, please email or call me here at the center. My contact information will be provided to you. Thank you, and I wish you a blessed Easter.